Just to confirm, your email is hugo@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you for confirming. I'll now check the status of your order. Please hold on for a moment.
And as you can see, the order status email has been sent. In this video, I'm going to explore inbound AI phone agents, give some example use cases of where this technology can actually be used, and then go through this concept I like to call agent versions. And then what I'll do is show off the plan of what we're going to build in this video, and then actually go and do that. Okay, so before I go on to talking about the example use cases and these examples for these three niches, I just want to quickly explain how I see and how I've been implementing these agents into businesses and the structure roughly that they hold. So when a customer calls, this is 100% of customers, right? All of them that call, ring the phone, right? Amazing phone. And what we would want to do is basically instantly get this answered by an AI. So if we just say that this is an AI, I don't know, this looks kind of like a robot, good enough for me. Boom. So the AI answers it, and it will try to answer as many questions as possible, or figure out as many tasks as possible, or do as many things as possible. So basically we're trying to get it to roughly be able to solve 80% of these calls, as a lot of these calls will just be futile. There'll be things that the customer rep has answered a million times. It'll be a thing that these people just don't want to deal with, and then only 20% or so will be things that are really important, and unfortunately the AI will not be able to do. So once that happens and the AI is like, yep, no, I can't do that, then we redirect to a human, allowing the humans to do a lot less work. And this way we are able to utilize the humans for those important things, right? We allow the AI to do the less important things, the 80%, and then we give the human the more important tasks, being the 20%. Okay, so for these example use cases, won't go too specific at first. Absolutely all of these niches could benefit from FAQ. What I mean by FAQ is simply the bot having access to a knowledge base with some frequently asked questions, and therefore it is able to answer those when called by a client or customer. So one tool that could be very valuable is scheduling appointments, or actually verifying slash qualifying leads. Okay, let's move on to e-commerce, as I just want these examples to be real quick. For some tools for e-commerce, I would suggest a order status checker. So basically someone can be like, oh, can I get the status of my order? Could I check delivery? Things like these, like those little tools that basically allow the agent to get information that is constantly changing, right? Someone's order status is going to be changing all the time. Their delivery time is going to be changing all the time. But what it can do is basically ping whatever software or program you're using, whatever database you're using, to find out when is the orders being delivered, and then take that information and then dynamically present it to the person on the phone. Okay, so banking and financial, what I would suggest is pretty simple, something like checking balance. Obviously, we have banking apps and financial services apps, but some older people aren't too prolific with applications and potentially would prefer to use some form of calling and actually asking. The other thing I would do potentially is adding or removing money from the savings account. Let's say someone asks, can I please remove however much from the savings account? Then the agent basically takes that amount and then puts it into their normal account instead of their savings. Okay, so that's a quick little 3 examples. I just wanted to basically show off the kind of the different tiers of agents. Tier 1 is basically redundant. It is not able to do much. So only once we get this knowledge base, tier 2 and tier 3 with tools, do these agents become really valuable. Okay, let's move on to my plan for the video today. What I want to do is build a pretty simple inbound e-commerce AI phone agent. And obviously I'm going to build it to tier 3 with the knowledge base and also 1 tool. I'm not going to go too in depth with making hundreds of tools because that's not the point of this video. And what I want to do is build this inbound e-commerce AI phone agent for this brand called Kaint. Now they make watches and jewelry, and I just thought it'd be a good example brand to build this phone agent for. Basically, the plan of it is when any sort of knowledge question is asked, please query the knowledge base and then answer that question based on the context you got from the knowledge base. And then the tool that I want is pretty simple, and that's just ask if someone asks about the order status, like, you know, when is my order coming, or can I have some more information about my order? We query the order database by finding out which order is actually the person's we're on the phone with. So we'll just ask for their email, and then we will send their order status to their email, and then just let them know, hey, I sent you the order status email, check it out. Do you have any more questions, etc. Okay, to start off in Vapi, what I did was create an assistant right here, and then I just pressed this inbound Q&A because, I mean, that's roughly what we wanted to do. I kept the name the same. Say we create it again, as you can see. And then all I did, very simple, I just copied this prompt, as this is just for the demo. We don't have to go too extensive and create our own prompts. I just copied this prompt, chuck it into ChatGPT, and basically asked it to change the prompt for Kaint, which is a watch brand and jewelry brand. And it just changed the prompt to something like this, which is just pretty simple. Basically just changed it to the name of Kaint rather than the innovation solutions or whatever it was before. And then the only thing that I added was, if you get asked a question about the Kaint brand, you must use the knowledge base you have to gather the information for the question, then answer using that information in your response. Basically, if you don't add a prompt like this, the AI might decide, oh, actually, I'm able to answer this question without the need of a knowledge base, even though these questions and answers are context specific. Like, you know, not every brand has the exact same return policy or doesn't have the same lifetime warranty, or etc., you know? So I needed to make sure that it does check the knowledge base. Then I uploaded the knowledge base over here. I do have it on the GPT-4o cluster. That isn't necessary. You can actually put it to the 3.5 in order to make it just that little bit cheaper. But for now, I'm going to keep it on the 4o cluster because it's just going to be better for the demo. It has better reasoning and better intelligence, I would say. Sorry, I added one more thing to the prompt, and that was this: if a customer that you are speaking to asks for the order status or more information, you must ask for their email. Then you wait for them to answer, and then you must recite the email back to the customer, asking them whether you have their email right. Basically, we don't want to assume what the email is. We want to be certain with the email. Otherwise, we're going to get an error where when we try to retrieve what their order is from the database, you know, there will be no email matching it. The last thing I did was, when testing this agent, I found that one time the email that it passed into the function we built was joed@gmail.com, like this. And obviously we don't want it like structured like that. We need it structured like a normal email. So I just kind of gave it examples and make sure that the emails are structured correctly. Okay, that's pretty simple. I also changed the first message and made it Kaint, so like this, because it was saying this wrong. So I basically just changed the pronunciation. Apart from that, like, I didn't really have to do anything else there. Voice, I made it Brian because I just think that's a good, like, the voice works well. You can make the Model 11 Turbo V2. I didn't change anything here as that's all complicated and isn't necessarily necessary right now. I am gonna just delete this and create a new tool in this video so I can explain this to you. This is all self-explanatory, the prompts, stuff like that, that's all self-explanatory, but I will go in more depth on how these tools work. Advanced analysis, everything else like that, nothing has to be changed. So at this point, we could say that we have a tier 2 agent already. In order to build the knowledge base, if I just quickly explain what I did, basically what I did was open the FAQ and the refund policy and just chucked all of this into a PDF and then uploaded that to the agent. So if I show you what the PDF looked like, it just has all of this structured a little bit differently. And I'm gonna keep this up for now so that we can check and test this agent quickly based on this knowledge base. So I'm gonna call it, since we are on tier 2, we may as well test before we start doing tools.
Hi there, I'm Leo from Kaint. How can I assist you today?
Hi there, I just wanted to know what your refund policy is.
Hello, our refund policy allows you to request a return within 60 days of receiving your item. The item should be in the same condition as you received it, unworn or unused, with tags and in its original packaging. You will also need the receipt or proof of purchase. To start a return, you can contact us at info@kaint.com. For EU customers, we provide a return shipping label and instructions. Non-EU customers will need to arrange and pay for return shipping. If you have any other questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
Yeah, the last question I wanted to ask is, I've got a bunch of condensation in my watch and I just wanted to know if you guys have some sort of policy to fix this.
Yes, we do have some guidance for dealing with condensation in your watch. Condensation can occur due to temperature fluctuations, and it's important to address it. While it's not considered a manufacturing defect and is not covered...
Okay, I think that's enough. We know that the agent is able to check the knowledge base and actually answer questions based on that. So let's move on to the building of tier 3, which is basically when someone asks about their order status, we get their email, we recite it to them, we confirm the email, and then we send them an order status email. So in order to do that, we're going to be using a software called make.com, which is a workflow automation platform. Once you are in make.com, you just want to create a new scenario. I'm going to call this order status request. So that's what the tool will be called. Then you're just going to want to create a webhook and just name this whatever you want to. Again, I'm going to call this order status. Save that. In a second, we're going to need to copy this address and then integrate it with Vapi. But for now, we're going to build out this tool first. So once this webhook is basically triggered and data is sent to it by the agent, by the Vapi agent, when the tool is decided to be used, what will happen is the email will be sent with this. So we're basically going to take that email and query Airtable, which is my database with the orders, and we will query this database by the email. So what I'll do is just create a search records Airtable, and then all I did was select my Kaint base, and then the formula I added was this, which is basically this will be the email data that we get from the webhook, and then we're basically looking to find the row or data that matches the email with email, if that makes sense. Then what I'll next do is actually search records one more time in Airtable, but this time the table I'm going to use is this product table, and then the formula I'm going to use for this is product name equals product. So basically in this database table, the product name that we have is here, and what we want to do is retrieve the price of the product based on the product name. Just like we retrieved this data based on the email, we're going to retrieve this data based on the product name. And then what we're going to do is actually send an email to the person, which is pretty simple. Just go onto Gmail, send an email. Now the recipient is just going to be this one email because this is the data that we're going to get in the webhook. So we can put that there. The subject, we could call this order status request. Okay, and then within the content, what I've done is I got ChatGPT to basically create me an order status email, make it a little nicer than just plain text. So this is what it looks like roughly. And what we'll do is basically just paste that into this. The only thing we're going to change is so that these variables actually match. Okay, so after that, this email should be structured all correctly. We have the correct variables inputted. We can just press OK. We can save this. And now what we need to do is actually link this tool or scenario in make.com with Vapi. So in order to do that, we go into tools. So we just press new tool, make.com, paste that webhook URL we did, save. I'm going to call this order status request because that is what people are doing when asking for the order. They're requesting their order status. And then we just quickly describe the tool. I'm just going to say, for the description, a tool that queries the order database and sends an email to the customer that asked for more information about their order. Then when we go next, we can basically define what data points this AI agent should be looking for. And that is pretty simple. And that's just email. And then we'll just put customer's email. That's all we need is their email, because everything else is handled in the backend. So we can just press create, go back to our assistant and just link that new tool. Okay, so if I publish this, and then in order to actually be able to ring it on my phone rather than just via this web, what you need to do is basically add or import a phone number, which you can just do by signing up to Twilio and you get a free phone number. Then what you will do is just select an assistant for the inbound, and that's it. So now if I were to call this number, Leo, my assistant, will pick up. Okay, so I tried calling the assistant and getting the tool to work, but I had an error. So I tried to find out why I messed up and what I did wrong. And I changed the prompt. That seemed to not do anything. And then the thing I found out, which was completely my fault, is I didn't actually paste in the server URL for this make.com webhook. So basically I didn't copy this. Well, I did copy this, but when I pasted in, it didn't save. So you need to make sure that when you paste in this webhook URL, you actually save it and don't do something stupid like me and forget to save it. So now, hopefully we should be able to call this number now and actually get the correct response. So let's call them and try that out. Hi there, could I get some more information about my order?
Please provide me with your email address so I can look up your order details.
Yeah, my email is hugopodw@gmail.com.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to confirm your email is your email, u is gohpaugudowp@ogmdawil.com. Is that correct? At gmail.com.
No, my email is hugopodw@gmail.com.
Thank you for that. Just to confirm, your email is hugopodw@gmail.com.
That is correct.
Great. Thank you for confirming. I'll now check the status of your order. Please.
Okay, and now we have the email sent to me. And as you can see, the order status email has been sent with the product I purchased. Yes, that agent was a little bit iffy, I'm going to be honest with you. That isn't my best work, that's for sure. But to be honest with you, I'm not too bothered, as I know if I just had an hour, maybe two of more prompt engineering, rather than just being lazy and kind of just chucking it all in and hoping it works, it was still able to do what I wanted it to. And that's all I can basically ask with as little effort as I just put in there. So yeah, it was able to answer knowledge-based questions, which we saw much earlier on in the video. And it was able to send me an order status email based on my email that I gave them. And we know that the order status email was correct because if I check the order status email, as you can see, we got this order status with the Armory olive green, which is correct, rather than the other record, which was the Joe D, which had the original necklace. So yeah, that's it.